Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Today, I am absolutely ecstatic. So, first off, we have a top 500 deck list, and what makes me so happy about this is it is a user-submitted deck list. So thank you very much, and we'll get to that here in a minute. And there are two things that I absolutely love. One, I love when you tell me that the content we've produced here today and shared allows and helps you get to Mythic or helps you progress in ranked or just have fun. This absolutely makes my day. And the second thing that I absolutely love about doing this is when you guys submit your content to me to go ahead and play your decks. I absolutely always appreciate that. Many of you know that I pull decks from all over the place, and I love to sooner have that one-on-one relationship with you in a way that I can cover something that you found successful and hopefully share that so other people can replicate as well. So with that said, Planeswalkers, today we do have a top 500 deck, but before we go ahead and cover that, I just want to say thank you. As always, I appreciate your support. Please subscribe down over there. Got a little ahead of myself. Additionally, I'm just so excited. Additionally, please feel free to like the video if you like it. You can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Those are also great ways to get a hold of me and get in contact as well, just like this player did in terms of trying to get this deck in front of me. So thank you very much. And also Reddit. I know a lot of you know that I use that, so lots of great places to connect and stay in touch. All right, Planeswalkers, so what deck do we have here today? Well, my friends, we have a top 500 Boros Knights deck. So I'm absolutely excited about this. One, it was a deck that I've been looking for, and the player by the name of ManBearPig has found the perfect one for us to play today. So not only did it hit top 500, this was on my list to knock out. So thank you, ManBearPig, and congratulations on hitting the top 500. And additionally, allowing us to walk through your deck today, critique it, have some fun, talk about it. And then the other thing that I do want to share is some of your own words in terms of what your thoughts are and how to play the deck as well. And then for those of you that are new to Magic or have been around for a while, first off, Boros is the clan, red and white. And additionally, the Knights portion of the nomenclature here for the naming convention is all about Knights decks. So it's everything here in terms of the creature has a Knight for the most part. We'll come back and hit on this in a second. But it's very powerful, very quick. And the other caveat here that I do want to call out is ManBearPig did make this a best of one deck. Now, I did go ahead and make a sideboard. So for those of you like myself or others that also like to play best of three, not just best of one, I did go ahead and put that together for you, and we'll talk about that here today as well. And then we'll go ahead and hop into some best of one and best of three matches, as we always do in competitive here. So quickly, deck list is available for you down below in the description. If you have questions or comments, please let me know. Always happy to help. And we'll start digging through this here relatively quickly. So here's what we got going on. We'll come back and talk about each of these components here in a second. All right. So first off, again, like I said, it's all Knights. Here we have a lot of really great one drops, which is one of the things that I really like about the Knights format. And honestly, I think in terms of creatures and archetypes, probably the best because it's very explosive. Each one does something and actually feeds the other ones, which is great. Then we get into our 2-drop slot here where we got Worthy Knights. So again, continuously making more creatures here as we drop those Knight spells, and everything else is continuing to build and help the board, whether it's a Rimrock Knight where we're getting the +2/+0, we get a big body here, and then additionally Inspiring Veteran, who is very important for this deck, so you absolutely want to keep an eye out for this one. Then we have Acclaimed Contender. So this was played quite heavily back during the original Knights version, whether it was Mardu or Boros, when it first became kind of popular with that Throne of Eldraine. Now, I know many of you have probably seen my original top 500 Mardu Knights deck with Chance for Glory, which I absolutely love. You guys can go ahead and check that out. I did not run this card, so I do want to spend a minute here and cover this one because I think it's very important, and ManBearPig also agrees there. And here, what it does is when a claimed contender enters the battlefield, if we control another knight, so that's the kicker, we got to have another knight on the board, we can look at the top 5 cards of our library. We may grab either a knight, an aura, an equipment, or a legendary artifact. So lots of things that we can do, and then we get to put the rest on the bottom of our library in a random order. So hopefully within 5 we're gonna hit something here, because we got a lot of stuff, and it's all gonna fall into that flavor of pulling. So very powerful to get the draw, very powerful to get a card gain, additionally filling that body and continuously to build off a lot of the board state. Now here is a sleeper card in the deck. Now this one throws a lot of people off. Here we get to tap 2 target creatures at instant speed. So this is a great blowout card for us to just get through the board if we need, to kind of finalize some things. Additionally, because it is a go wide deck in terms of the fact that we just got a ton of bodies here and you just want to pound the board as fast as possible, they're most likely not going to have a ton of bodies. So this should most likely also hit a lot of those things. So even in best of 1, even though it's probably going to be very aggro heavy, this is going to allow us to do a lot of things. Additionally, on the defense, we can play this on their turn when they go to attack and tap them down. So lots of good things that are really gonna power this deck, which is nice. And then obviously we got a 3-drop flyer if we need that. Now here's the only removal on the board for this card, and that's the main board. So we have Crusher here, deals the 2 damage, and then obviously a nice body. It's not a knight. But again, the key component about this deck is to load the board with bodies. You're not necessarily trading their things. You're going to use this for key pieces if you need. Probably typically pair it with Fervent Champion as well, or to get that additional 2 to get a much bigger body off the board. Hopefully it doesn't go down that path because you'll already kill them by then, but who knows. So those are some key considerations here. Ideally, again, you're just trying to burn them down with bodies, and they're going to be, if they're going to be trading, you should still hopefully be able to have a faster engine, because we got a few other things like Worthy Knight that are going to help us fuel and keep building those bodies, and we'll hopefully gain on that board state, and they're going to slowly lose over time in terms of trying to trade off. Now, again, the big finisher here is Embercleave. So this is a very powerful card. Many of you know that this deck is absolutely going to be able to T4. Absolutely going to be able to T4. I know I can do it with mono red. I know we can do it with this deck. We'll see if we can make it happen today. But again, very powerful. Now, a couple of the other things that I do want to call out here quickly is the mana base. So we do have Pillar Verge Pathway, Needle Verge Pathway, an awesome modal land, and then also digging into Tournament Grounds here. The only thing that you need to be careful about with this deck with Tournament Grounds is this guy right here, Bone Crusher, because you're not going to be able to play it if you don't have the red source, because this is only good for knights or equipment spells. It's good for the rest of the deck, just not Bone Crusher, and I've learned that the hard way multiple times playing knights decks in the past, so keep an eye on that. The other thing that I do want to call out that you could change up, and I thought about this pretty hard, but I love playing these decks at their purest. So you could play a castle. Castle Embereth would be nice for some of the bump. Now the trade-off though is that you may end up being a little bit slower. So, and what that means is if you Needle Verge isn't going to trigger castle, either the white or red castle, because it's not a mountain or a plains, and then you could lose that speed. So those are a couple things that you have to be careful of, and Tournament Grounds is going to do that as well. So you have half of your, almost half, a little over half, less than half of your lands that wouldn't actually activate the castle, so you have to be a little bit careful there. And we are running 22 lands, which is perfect for a deck like this. We have an extremely low curve to help us go underneath. That's also very powerful here. So a couple of things here before I go talk about the sideboard. I do want to kind of forbatim, whatever we want to call it, the key parts that Manbear Pig calls out here. So just making sure that when you do play a claimed contender, your first pick and priority is going to be Embercleave, especially if you don't have it. And then the second one's probably going to be Inspiring Veteran. So I do want to call those out. Those are some great pointers. Again, Tactician is extremely sneaky. A lot of players aren't going to be able to probably be aware of that. 2, like I talked about, you can play it on both sides, which is very, very important. And the deck, again, doesn't play that direct damage because it's, again, fast as possible, go wide strategy. And then also belief that there is a better durability, which I would agree with, against kind of the red deck wins decks as well. Because a lot of times those decks could run out of removal versus this deck. And the other piece that a lot of people forget is the stuff stacks so fast with Inspiring Veteran, and unless those red decks are playing the 2-drop for 4 or the 2-drop for 3 exile, they're actually going to miss a ton of stuff. And a lot of those decks don't play that today. So that is why this deck can outpace a lot of those ones. So keep that in mind when we talk about the current meta there. All right, so that's a couple of notes from Manbear Pig. Again, thank you, Manbear Pig, for allowing us to go over your best of 1 deck here. We're going to go ahead and talk about the sideboard for best of 3 because I think it is important for those of you that do enjoy playing best of 3. So here we got Giant Killer. This card, we destroy target creature with power 4 or greater, or we have the ability as a creature on the board to tap down. This card is very, very important for us in terms of things like mono green. Also can be like the Yorion decks, Selesnya, any big creature decks, Gruul, those kinds of things. You're absolutely going to want to play this. Additionally, that tap down ability is going to be very, very helpful for us to kind of control the state. So instead of having something like an Arden Veil Tactician, we got a constant tap down here with Giant Killer, and you can usually double up. You can do it at the end of their turn, and you can do it at the end or at the beginning of upkeep of your turn as well, and get 2 of those creatures. So those are a couple of good pieces here. Shadow Spear I've included because I think this is very important. We don't have the ability to regain life in some of the longer matches, or even against some of the burn decks or fast decks like mono red. If we do have this in the board, and what I absolutely love is turn 2 drop Fervent and Shadow Spear on top of each other and swing in. This piece is very, very important. The other sneaky piece here that everyone always forgets is permanents are opponents control, lose hexproof, and indestructible to end of turn. So it is something that you're going to want to have to be safe if you do run into like a Heliod or other indestructible creature, or again, if something's going to try and play hexproof. Yes, we don't have a lot of the targeting stuff, but we got to keep that in mind nonetheless. So 2 of these here is nice. Again, I think 2 is kind of the bare minimum when you want to swap in. Yes, it is legendary, but there's another reason why, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But this card is great. The other thing is it's going to help us kind of in board stalls where we can pop it on top of a creature, go over the top as well. Next, we got Embrys Shieldbreaker. So many of you are probably going to argue with me. Why'd you include this one? Because, the meta's changed. There's not the Clover decks anymore. There's actually less artifacts. I'm actually going to counter that because this card is probably even more important now to some extent. And I say that particularly to the way this deck is built. If we are going to go up against some control decks, they are going to be playing artifacts. They're going to be playing glass caskets, and Embrys Shieldbreaker is going to hit those, and it's actually going to be a better benefit for us because it doesn't exile the creature. We'll still get that creature back once we destroy those. And additionally, this still feeds the Knight mechanic, which is very important for us as well. So that is one of the reasons why I've included this deck. The other sleeper there is to get things like Great Henge off the board. So anything running green is most likely going to have Great Henge. So you're absolutely going to want this in the deck. Next, the other thing that I did include was some direct damage outside of something like a Bone Crusher here. I like this one a lot. Yes, it is sorcery speed, but the reality is if we have to play a sorcery speed card with this deck and not at instant speed and play it main board, the 2 things are going to happen. One is because it's absolutely crucial that we got to clear the creature off the board, and 2, we'll get a swing in for a little bit more damage. This one runs really well because the way this one works, and this is definitely underrated, we get to choose target creature we control and target creature we don't control, and then the creature we control gets +2/+1 until end of turn if it's a knight, and then those creatures fight each other. So we get the boost, we get a lot of things that we're going to need here to take something off the board. Additionally, we'll be able to uptrade if we have to on some of our lower casting cost creatures here to control the board. So lots of great places for this. I would use this against things like Scavenging Ooze or Skoos. You're going to want to use this against other big creatures that you're going to want to get off the board. It's going to be helpful against Yorion decks. Lots of different areas that this one can be played. Things like mono white auras, you gotta pick the creatures off. So this is here again for that emergency when you do need to take things down and not allow them to get some of those creatures on the board. So this is a great one there for you. And additionally, I maybe even play this against other aggro decks just to pick them off because I absolutely love doing that. Next, I got Bosri's Lieutenant. So the reason why I put this one in here is, one, at the higher end of the curve, we don't have a lot of stuff. Two, this gives us additional protection from multicolored, which I think is going to be important. And we get the +1/+1 making something else bigger. And then when it dies, we do get another token. Now, it's not a counters-based deck, but again, having the big body and the protection from multicolored is something important. Additionally, it's still a knight. So popping Bosri's Lieutenant with a Joust and picking things off that are multicolored, let's say something like a Luris, for instance, or something like a Flyer, the 1/3 Flyer that's a rogue. There's lots of things that we're going to be able to play this against and make it work. So those are a couple of key callouts that I think are important to remember. And then lastly here, I have the Circle of Loyalty. So this is your protection against board wipes. It's also great because we do have a couple legendary things like we talked about. So I said Shadow Spear, we have Ember Cleave, and then we can tap it for 4 and create a 2/2 white creature token with Vigilance, and we get the +1/+1 to all creatures, so making them bigger. So it really feeds. We get 1 less to cast for each knight we control. So at the higher end of the deck, this is going to be very good there. So that is my thoughts in terms of sideboard. Again, sticking to the kind of archetype around knights, which I think is very important. The only other consideration that I would maybe make here is putting in something like an Ox or a Phoenix in terms of the mill. So if you do get milled and you do need to play something like an Ox would be a very viable option. I would maybe consider swapping it for something like a Bosri's Lieutenant there as well, because that will just keep us low on the curve. However, I did like the multicolored protection there as well. So those are some great considerations and things that you might want to have in your deck in terms of the best of 3. And then let's go ahead and talk about how we would sideboard, because I know it's very important for many of you as well. And then we'll go jump in the best one, because like I said, this is main board best of 1 deck. What I would do is if I'm playing some of those late game Yorion decks, I would absolutely pop in the Circle of Loyalty. I'd probably pop in a Shadow Spear and pop in my 2 Giant Killers. So that gives me 5. And then I would probably do the Ember Shield Breakers, which gives me 6. They're most likely not, depending on the deck, they may not have a ton of creatures. So I would look to remove at this part of the deck here. So that's about 6. And then maybe one or 2 Weaselbacks. So that should give us a good opportunity there. Now, then if we want to play something that's a little bit more bursty in terms of our opponent's kind of aggro creatures and want to look to remove, or also something like a Gruul and get those jousts in there, I would maybe drop 2 Weaselback, because I do like the 2 here plus the 1 if something dies to pump on Fervent. I'd maybe go there. And then maybe a Rimrock, and then something towards the top end here. So those are a lot of good options for you. And then maybe even run the Circle of Loyalty. So that kind of gives you an idea of the aggro type stuff, as well as the later games. And then anything controller playing multicolored, you're going to want to play Bosri in there as well. So lots of good opportunities for us in terms of sideboard. With that said, we're going to go pop into some competitive Magic here because I'm super, super pumped to play this deck for you today. I'm excited because I think there could be very quick matches as well, which many of you know that I love that. I do love piloting complex decks and lots of choices. However, I do like myself a couple quick matches once in a while. So we'll see. I'll probably be biting my own tongue here in a minute. Now, last again, I just want to thank Manbear Pig and congratulations again for hitting the top 500. Those of you out there that enjoy the content, have a deck that you'd love to submit, please shoot me a message. Generally, I like to cover top decks, which are top 1,500 for many of us. Yeah, so with that said, let's go ahead and hop into our competitive matchmaking here. Standard ranked, top 500 Boros. All right, Planeswalkers into it with best of one in our top 500 deck. Also, stay tuned for more player-submitted decks coming this week. Super excited about that. Before we play this name that I cannot pronounce off the top of my head, just want to say thank you. As always, please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, feel free to like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch to stay up to date on content like this. Mano Tenusu, something like that. Apologies because I totally butchered that. And let's see what we can do here. They go first. We got a good start. It's very aggressive. I will hang on to this. So I think the right play is Fervent, double Weaselback, then Inspiring. So let's see what this is gonna do for us here. Right, we can live with that. Wonder if this is a Warriors deck. We'll see. If they drop green, it's Naya. Could be a Winota deck. Kerrigan's used in Winota still. Alright. That is aggressive. Very, very aggressive here. Again, very well could be Winota deck. Or a Warrior deck. Very aggressive. Very aggressive. Slightly surprised on that. Let's see if they trade on these two. Kind of want to say like oops or something so that they block it, but want to get the damage through. And go on Veteran. So we got 8 on the board. There you go. Got one card. Not a lot of plays we can make here. No support. Good old Stone Coil. Here we go. Let's see if they trade on that. We get a cleave. If we swing out, they got 3 blockers right now. We could get minimum 4. Well, now we're gonna have a problem. We got a double play here. Well, we'll just have to start crushing some of their stuff, hopefully. So they'll get a 2 off that. Double up. Oh. Better block would have been with the stone. There you go. Two triggers. Boros Winota deck, like we thought. Alright, so we'll kill both of those things. We will block here and here. They could have a giant block there. All right, so they have 4 blockers. We have, what do we have here? We need to get 10 damage through. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1 damage through. So if they block these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If they block those 4, they will trade maybe 1, 2, maybe 2. So that's 5. That's not enough damage for us. So we have to wait 1 more, unfortunately, but we will do this. hurt by 2. Here we go. No, we need it. So here we have to make sure that we actually tap it right. So we're gonna go dig for Ember, because that's first pick, according to Man Bear Pig. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we can take another Acclaim though, or we can make a real big team. I'm gonna take the Acclaimed. So that's 10. It's still not enough. Save it. Get the cleave. It's game. So much for a fast match, you guys. I'm sorry. Alright. Ooh, what are you gonna hit? What are you going to hit? That's a good choice. Not gonna trade. No, we're gonna do that again. And cleave. And cleave. And no cleave. Oh, I can't believe we missed cleave twice. We can block everything on the board. They'll trigger 1, 2, 3. They'll trigger 3 if they go in. So they probably pulled cleave, is my guess, if they're going with 3 big hitters. Oh, maybe not. That or they knew they had to attack in. There we go. Oh, they missed. We got very, very close there, and lucky, I will say. So finally, based off yesterday into today, luck went our way. Not bad. All right, it's on to our second best of 1 match here, Planeswalkers. Let's see what we can do. Whew, took a little bit longer than I was thinking, but hey, a win's a win. We'll take the win and go from there. All right. Not too shabby for our first match there. Not, for some reason, we couldn't hit the cleave, though. All right, Daniel, let's see if we can pull it off. Well, now we have 3 cleaves. I am actually going to mulligan this. There we go. This is much better. I'm debating dumping this. Debating dumping plains. Because I don't... The only thing I need that red for is actually Bone Crusher. So I think we get rid of that. And we have the white anyway. Oh, it's the gruul deck, my friends. My friends, my friends, my friends. It is a gruul deck. We will absolutely take that thing off. We'll go acclaimed first. Bummer, bummer, bummer. So we're gonna go look for cleave. Oh shoot, I need the other knight. That was a misplay. We're not gonna block it. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, that makes me so sad, my friends. So sad. We'll do that. So this probably means they have cleave, because they didn't block. Yeah, it's gonna be a cleave. I have to block, which is the problem. And they go on this guy, because that means they have to keep dropping a land. Yeah, there it is. That is extremely, extremely unfortunate there. Doesn't matter. Nothing we could do. Nothing we could do. So we go from a long game that we win, and then we play a really fast game that we lose. But they had quite the draw, and we did start with 3 Ember Cleaves. So, c'est la vie. That's how it goes, my friends. All right. Great, great deck. Very fun. Explosive, though, nonetheless. Let's go ahead and play our best of 3. Really, really enjoying this one. And excited to go play some standard ranked here. All right. And there's that teamer deck you guys should absolutely check out that I just did as well. All right, Planeswalkers, as always, again, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, if you like the video, please like it. You can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch to stay up to date on content like this. Now, I think the only downfall I would say about that last one is that I didn't have a turn 1 drop, which was problematic. Not much we could do against the double Brushfire guys there. That would have been nasty if they would have been able to keep 2 of those on the board. All right, so no 1 drops, but we'll keep this. And we'll see if we can flood the board. So it's a Rakdos. Probably going, what the heck is this? Hopefully. That was the right play. So now we have to go with this first. We're not going to pull the same shenanigans. I don't like leaving this one wide open though, but I don't really have a choice. I mean, I could have played Rimrock. I guess that was the other alternative. That might have been the better play. Then the problem there though is they see one of the cards that I had. I'm trying to kind of keep it concealed, I guess. They'll get their Crusher on still. Take the damage. They got in their graveyard. Pretty close. That hurts. So drop the bone. Go look here and see what we can pull. We're going to be playing some top deck Magic here. This is going to be a tough match. We're going to need to switch in BO3. We're going to have to go a little bit higher on the curve here, because they clearly have a lot of good removal with the mid-range deck, which is going to be a problem. Prox is going to be a problem. Play it anyway. So if we don't block, that's 9. They can play Croxa again. It's not going to kill us. That's a interesting play. They didn't attack in. They really didn't want to lose Croxa, huh? That's weird. I would have attacked in. And we can make Weaselback bigger now, which is good. Nothing I can do there. One, two, three, four, five, six. So I waited there because you can play Ember. This person's playing extremely, extremely cautious. Which, good for them. we are in a bad spot anyway. So I'm gonna pop in the stuff in the sideboard that we're gonna need. I'm probably gonna use the pick off cards too. I'm gonna grab Giant Killer. I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab these. I'm gonna grab one of those. I'm gonna grab those. I'm gonna drop the weasels. That's 6. I'm gonna drop Aven. Rimrock. I'm gonna dump. And so we're going higher on the curve here. I'm going to drop 1 Bone Crusher. There, I like that. Shadow Spear, maybe another one. Yeah, I only like 1. Let's put that one back in. Pick stuff off, kill stuff. That works for me. All right. Let's see if we can do it this time. Mr. Kill 86. We will play first, and we'll get hosed on lands, of course. This one is not good at all. Extremely, extremely problematic. That hurts us big time too. So we'll play the Acclaimed for a loss. That's a whiff. That's nice. Oh man, at least we got this in there. We got it on the board. Probably have Bone Crusher. Called it. We'll keep that. Hopefully I can hit with Acclaimed here. I probably could have waited and see if it suckered him in or not, but that's fine. Then at least it wouldn't have been like, hey, we got it. Look at that. It worked. The Circle of Loyalty, my friends. Look at that. A sleeper card right there. You saw it. We'll try again. They knew they were in trouble once we could build the board like that. So that is why that card is nice. Because if they start killing you like that, we still have an opportunity to come back. Ooh, 2-1, 2-1. They gave us first play. Oh, wow. That's a tough one. We're going to mulligan. There we go. I like this better. We'll keep this. We'll go there. I don't know if they meant to do that. Maybe they did. I'm gonna take that off the board. Alright, give me a land. Thank you. Let's go dig. Ooh. Cleave or Veteran? Veteran will trigger Circle Loyalty sooner. We don't have the life. We don't have the life. So I'm gonna grab Cleave. And I didn't mean life, I meant land. We didn't have the right land. Ooh, here we go. We'll take that first. I want that over Cleave anyway. That wasn't lethal, by the way. We got it, though. Explosive. That was so explosive, my friends, against a mid-range deck with discard like that. Oh, that is beautiful. That was a beautiful match. Huge, huge, huge turnaround there, my friends. That sideboarding made a huge difference. I'm pretty proud of that. All right, let's go ahead and look at this deck again. Hats off, as always. Mander Pig, congratulations, top 500. Again, salute. Thank you for sharing your deck with us. Much appreciated. We split best of 1, and we won best of 3. All in, great day. Luck was a little bit more in our field, and on top of that, we did that with some pretty nice aggressive mulligans and starting bad hands, which is always nice to recover from. So here's what we got going again. The best of 1 mainboard deck here. Mander Pig, thank you very much. And then sideboard, as I said, I tweaked this for you. Lots of great options there. Planeswalkers, hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Always appreciate your support. Feel free to like the video if you like it. Like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. We'll see you again soon. Stay tuned because we have more player submitted decks coming your way. Again, if you got a top 1500 deck, feel free to get in contact with me, reach out. Let's coordinate. I love covering this stuff. And again, I appreciate your sharing and love dropping your tidbits in here as well. And certainly I hope you enjoy the content and play that I'm providing on your deck. So Planeswalkers, we'll see you again. Take care. Stay safe. Mythras out. Until next time, my friends.